Thanks for watching. Hello, so I read this book with Chris. I'm Chris. Alrighty, I am in a closet. I'm going to tell you about this here book, Arrival by Ted Chiang. Specifically, the first story, The Tower of Babylon. And while in this closet telling you about this here story, I got myself iced Americano.
Extremely hot.
I only had Keurig coffee here, and I needed something that tasted better. Arrival by Ted Chiang. If you have not heard of Ted Chiang, you're welcome. You've now heard of Ted Chiang. You should go pick him up. This short story collection, first published in 2002 as Stories of Your Life and Others, was changed to called Arrival. I believe it's the same exact stories. There is a story here. Yeah, so the story entitled Story of Your Life got turned into the 2016 movie Arrival, which apparently a lot of people think is good. And if you have heard of Ted Chiang, that's why. But that's not my favorite story. My favorite story is the Tower of Babylon. I really enjoy when authors can take a mathematical concept and make a story and make the story interesting. A lot of people can't. People have tried. There is the story, the novel Inverted Worlds, which is really crazy, but way more complex math. But this is a short story about the Tower of Babylon. Were the tower to be laid down across the plain of Shinar, it would be 2 days' journey to walk from one end to the other. While the tower stands, it takes a full month and a half to climb it from base to summit if a man walks unburdened. But few men climb the tower with empty hands. The pace of most men is slowed by the cart of bricks they pull behind them. 4 months pass between the day a brick is loaded onto a cart and the day it is taken off to form part of the tower. Babylon has decided, we are going to make a tower. This is obviously a play on the Tower of Babel from the Bible. What if we made a tower to reach to the heavens? And in the Tower of Babel, this failed because once they reached a certain point and they wanted to reach the heavens in order to show God, hey, we can also, have this power of being up in the sky, right? Because of their pride, they were all struck where they all spoke different languages. And so then, since they all spoke different languages, they were no longer able to work together. Tower of Babylon is what if they came together to build a tower to reach the heavens, but instead of doing it to spite God, or to say we're better than God, or we have the same power as God, or anything like that. These are religious men, for the most part, who want to learn the knowledge of the heavens. So there's this tower that works all the way from the ground, all the way up. And as it says, a day and a half, or it would be 2 days' journey to walk from one end to the other, a month and a half to climb from base to summit. If you walk 3 miles an hour for 10 hours a day, that's 30 miles a day. So is it 60 miles tall? If you do a little better, 4 miles an hour, do a longer day. If you're working like a 12-hour day, it's 96 miles tall. So it's quite a tall tower. And the story goes, and it just follows Hillel and his crew, who are Elamites, who came to Babylon because they are miners. And so they go and they work their way up to the top of the tower. And as they work their way up the tower, they learn about the tower. And as they reach the top, they realize the tower has reached the heavens. First it goes, and it passes the moon. And then there's a shooting star that at one point, over 100 years ago, a shooting star hit the tower and then burnt out. So now there's this star, which was brought down to Babylon and is now held there as a sacred object. And then they go and they pass the sun, and that section is so hot that they can only walk at night because they're at the height of the sun. And then they pass the height of the sun and they keep on going. And it gets cool again and they can start traveling again during the day. And as they reach the heavens, they realize it's a rock. It's some sort of ceiling. And the Elamites, as well as a group of Egyptians, go and work together to continue their exploration. Now the tower reaches from the earth all the way up to the heavens. And they go and they mine themselves a way out. They reach a section of water, and they go and they build in breaks so that if they do come across water, underground river or something of the like, they have doors that come in place and can block it off so that the whole mine that they've been building upwards into the heaven does not get flooded. Someone lands on the wrong side. They go, they're mining, and they find this underwater river, this underwater section, and the doors are shut behind him, so he's trapped, him and a few men, and as they are flooded out, they go like, well, our only option now is to swim up. Maybe we can find a spot. And he swims up, and after a while he crawls out into a desert. As he comes out into a desert, he sees a caravan. He runs up to them. Where is this place? Were you attacked by bandits? We are headed to Eric. Hilalum stared. You would deceive me. Man drew back and watched him as if he were mad. Hilalum saw another man in the caravan walking over to investigate. Eric is in Sinar. Yes, it is. Were you not traveling to Sinar? And so Hilalum realizes he comes up in a land that he knows about Babylon. Basically, there's the earth, there's the tower. They climb the tower, they work their way up. And as he is trapped and is forced to follow these caves that are found, he winds back up on the land, except the land that should be up here is actually down. And he realizes that while the God, Yahweh, that's the name that he uses for God throughout the story, has made the earth in a way unimaginable to them until they got there. And this new geometry of the earth is it is a three-dimensional space wrapped around a cylinder. And he described it as a sealed cylinder, which, for those of you who don't know what that is, basically imagine a rolling pin that's engraved. So as you roll, a pattern is rolled into it. You can have two spaces that look like they're far away on the cylinder, but they're actually spread out. It was clear now why Yahweh had not struck down the tower, had not punished men for wishing to reach beyond the bounds set for them. The longest journey would merely return them to the place whence they'd come. Centuries of their labor would not reveal to them any more creation than they already knew. Yet through their endeavor, men would glimpse the unimaginable artistry of Yahweh's work, and seeing how ingeniously the world has been constructed. By this construction, Yahweh's work was indicated and Yahweh's work was concealed. Thus would men know their place. Hilalum rose to his feet, his legs unsteady from awe, and sought out the caravan drivers. He would go back to Babylon. Perhaps he would see Lugatum again. He would send word to those on the tower. He would tell them about the shape of the world. So, it is a short little story, but and I think it is a brilliant story. I think it's a fun story. If you do see any by Ted Chiang, pick it up. A lot of this has to do, it is sci-fi. He plays with a lot of mathematical ideas. Several of his other stories involve math. Arrival, that story of your life, is about language, but that's also got mathematical ideas in there. And then he also plays with a lot of religious ideas, a lot of allusions. 72 Letters is about Jewish numerology and what's it called? The study of names and the Jewish science of names, or that version of that. Pick it up. Not every story in here is amazing, but they're all quite good. I really enjoy the Tower of Babylon. Thanks for watching.